Hey there, guys. Oh, what's this? Ah, just just kidding, guys. Wanted to give you one last 2025 jump scare before the start of the new year. So, happy New Year's, everyone. And you know what that means. Another year, another opportunity to look at the games filling up my backlog.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
Well, 2025 is gone and 2026 is here. And so this time, I'm holding myself accountable and tackling all these games. Okay. Maybe organizing myself will make this mess feel a little bit more manageable. Let's get these games off screen. Think about this for a sec. I have a lot to get through, so let's get started. I know the biggest problem that may arise in my attempt to play and enjoy these games is the risk of turning this into a chore, and that would negatively impact my experience with them. Going through these should be about having fun first and foremost. I'm not here to torture myself, guys. So, after going through the list of games that I have put together, I realize I've got kind of a double edged sword with these games. The reason being that most of these are RPGs. On the one hand, RPGs tend to be long, like really long. Even the smaller scale ones can see you putting in a surprising amount of hours away on these. So, this is going to make getting through the actual list feel like at any point in time I'm not actually making any progress towards my goal of playing these games. However, on the other hand, since these types of games tend to be on the long side, that also means the games I'm going through won't feel like a blur and start to blend together. Each one will have their own gameplay, story, and should be unique enough that even though they are mostly RPGs, it won't feel the same as if you were playing every 2D Mario game in a row.
By the grace of the goddess of mana, I name you the Alm of Fire.
An alm's sacred duty is to offer their soul to the Tree of Mana. They ensure life and prosperity for the rest of us.
We can't give up our happiness!
This isn't something we can run from.
So yeah, I've decided the first game I'm going to play through is definitely going to be Visions of Mana. It's going to be my first Mana game. I've heard good things about it, and I don't know much about the series. But I know this game is an action RPG and the return of the franchise after being on a long 18-year break. I'm loving the art style, and the little combat I've seen looks like a good time. If I'm lucky, there's a good story there to carry me through the experience as well. And if this game gets me into the series, then I'll be more than excited to try out the early entries. Ah, Fatal Frame, a series I've been meaning to complete for a long time. This right here should help with breaking up the RPGs and hopefully act as a small reprieve that both drastically changes the vibe and the type of gameplay experience I'll be going through for the next couple hours. If you've never played these games, they're essentially survival horror games where you explore a haunted place and fight back against the paranormal using the main gimmick of the game, the Obscura camera. It adds a fun twist where in order to fight the ghosts, you need to directly look at them so they can be exorcised. I've already played the first two games, so this will be a playthrough where I'm familiar with. But I've been wanting to play through the whole franchise, so playing the first two games again is totally worth it in my eyes. And I hope I get a experience some scares I may have forgotten about, since it's been quite a while since I played these games.
Everyone, they're gone.
We came to save you.
You won't be getting out of here alive.
Even the smallest of sparks can grow into an inferno. I must give precedence to the task at hand, snuffing out your fire before it spreads across the 5 realms.
Think you can cut me down? What?
Back to the RPGs. Next game is Tales of Arise. This is a game I've tried to play before, with me stopping fairly early into it. I'm not sure why I stopped, but the major DLC for this game, Beyond the Dawn, was on sale, and I thought this was the perfect time to give this one another go. The only other Tales game I've ever played through is Tales of Symphonia, which I love, but I just never hopped on another one until this one. I do remember having fun with this one, so the only thing I can think of that would have made me stop would have been the release of another game. My hope is, in giving this game another chance, I find something that I regret not finishing instead of something that I realized I could have stayed unfinished. So hopefully this one's a banger.
Twin sisters have found themselves trapped in the lost village. On the day of the ceremony, the village vanished.
Up next is Fatal Frame 2. Yep, there's a lot of Fatal Frame to go, so I believe this one is considered a fan favorite though. And since I've only played the first two, this one is definitely my preferred choice. With it giving us an excellent story and refining the gameplay of the first one, I'm very excited to revisit this entry into the franchise. This one has me particularly excited to play since a remake was announced and is planned to release on March 12th, 2026. Being able to compare and contrast the two and see if they go for a more faithful remake or go the Silent Hill 2 route of changing certain parts of the game to help with pacing and some of the puzzles to give returning fans a new challenge. Either way, I'm excited to play this one and hopefully it's only uphill after this.
To hell with talking. If they won't give us a say, we'll decide our fates another way. Are you with me? You will pay for what you've done!
Why aren't you dead? You are bottom branded!
Tell me true. Do you believe what I'm about to do is wrong?
I was forced to kill. You do it by choice.
They don't believe in me. They believe in the powers that dominant.
You can't blame a man for wanting to bring an end to all this, can you?
Ever led astray by your...
So, Final Fantasy 16. Yeah, this is going to be a big one. I played through FF16 when it first came out, and while I understand it a bit controversial for its gameplay, I took it for what it was and thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. Since then, however, multiple DLCs and updates have been released for this game, and this second playthrough will be more for me to experience how the game has grown. I will be playing this one on New Game Plus and on the added Final Fantasy difficulty. But I do wonder if the second go around will expose more of the faults with the game I overlooked the first time, or I'll come away with an even bigger appreciation for what they were going for. Either way, I'm excited.
that spreads. Fatal.
Back at it again at Fatal Frame 3. See, this is the last Fatal Frame game on the PS2, and the first one I'll be going into completely blind. As much as I love the first two, I still have avoided the rest of the series since I've always had the intention of playing through them and not wanting to spoil it for myself. Since it is the last PS2 one, I do have high hopes for it. I'm expecting the visuals to be the best of the series up to that point. The gameplay is hopefully given a new way to interact with the ghost, and for the story to be just as engrossing as the first two. It will be a nice send off to the PS2 games and for a nice jumping on point for games for the ones I haven't played yet. So yeah, here's hoping it's just as scary and just as interesting.
ソフィー、あまり急ぐと転びますよ。行こう、プラッタ。私、ソフィーの家ミラー。あなたと同じ。
Atelier Sophie 2, The Alchemist of the Mysterious Dream, is perhaps the game I'm the most excited to get to on this list. You see, I get the Atelier in my name from these games, and the first Atelier Sophie was the game that introduced me to the series. For me, these are some of the coziest RPGs you can play. They have super aesthetically pleasing visuals, have a very chill vibe to them, and don't take themselves too seriously. Since playing the original Sophie game back in the day, I've gone back and played through some of the older titles, finished the Mysterious series, the Rises series, and after finishing Yumiya and playing all these action RPGs back, going back to a turn-based one is going to be a nice change of pace. I highly recommend you guys try one of the Atelier games. Well, except for maybe Yumiya, since it isn't a super great representation of the rest of the series. Even still, I did enjoy my time with it. But to wrap this entry up, I'm pumped and can't wait to get to this one.
思い出したくない。早くここから出ないと。
Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. Yep, they've stopped numbering them at this point, and honestly, breaking up these RPGs with Fatal Frame games might come back to bite me. All I know about this game is that it was originally released on the Wii, and never got a proper translation until much later when it was released on more modern consoles. Hearing that this game didn't make it out of Japan at first means this was either the scariest game yet or the worst one. There is no in between. Either way, I'm excited to experience it for the first time. Can't wait to be surprised or disappointed.
Here's my chance.
If you're discovered, yours won't be the only head that rolls. What is your purpose here?
When 'twas all but certain that her son would take his father's place.
Oh, Dragon's Dogma 2. So much potential. Okay, now this one was almost impossible not to get some spoilers when it came out. And not because it was amazing, but because of how badly optimized it was and how many people were excited by its announcement. I played the first game when it was re-released on PS4 and had a blast with it. The combat was fun, the boss fights were intense, and while the story wasn't anything crazy, building up your legend was still plenty of fun. The pawn system was an interesting take on multiplayer, and even though I like going through these kinds of adventures with no NPCs, I'm glad I used the system because it led to some fun gameplay moments. When I saw all the issues the new game was experiencing, I avoided getting it until it was only on a good discount. And that time has finally come around. So let's see if the discount was deep enough or if I should have waited longer.
You cannot leave the mountain. ゼロシリーズ20周年マルチプラットフォームでよみがえる和風ホラーの金字塔人には見えないものが見える小塚田優里は神隠しにあった人たちの影を追ってかつて霊場として崇められた氷上山へ足を踏み入れる次々に襲い来る霊に対抗できる唯一の手段はありえないものを映す
Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater. It's the last one of the franchise, guys, and hopefully it can stick the landing. This one I know came out originally for the Wii U, but I never owned one, so yeah, waiting for a re-release was my option. I don't have much to say about this one that I didn't already say about the other Fatal Frame games I haven't played, but when I finish this one, how would you guys feel about me doing a retrospective on the series? Is that something you guys would be interested in? And if you are, leave a comment down below. I don't really see a lot of people talking about these games, and I think they deserve a little more attention than what they get.
さてと今日も町の復興のために頑張りますか
少しずつやっていけばいい。俺も手伝ってやるから。
よーしそうと決まればもっとしっかり調べなくちゃ
一人で勝手に行くな。罠があるかもしれないだろう。まずい。危ないから下がっているんだ。
失礼ね私だって
強敵のお出ましのようだな。
この程度の魔物
Last game of the list, guys. Atelier Res Lariana, the Red Alchemist, and the White Guardian. That's right, the last game is another Atelier game, and boy is that title a mouthful. It's the latest game in the series, and apparently a sequel to an Atelier series mobile gacha game that I just never played. And as scary and concerning as all those words strung together may sound, I've heard good things about it, and can't wait for the last game of the list to be a nice, relaxing RPG. I do know a bit about what's going on with the game, like the return of older series protagonists to aid with this game's main characters, and some about the combat system, but stuff like this game's synthesis system is something I didn't look up, so maybe it's closer to Yumiya or to the older style of games. Either way, it's going to mark the end of my journey, and I'm all too excited to get to it. So, yeah, guys, that's the mountain I'm going to try to challenge so I can slowly chip away at my ever growing backlog. And while this isn't every game in the backlog, these are some of the most time consuming ones I have, and finishing them is going to feel great. This does raise a question though. What about the new games coming out this year that I'm excited to play? Well, that's where I might have to be a bit more flexible. You see, I haven't given myself a strict timeline on when to complete each game by. Again, I want this to be fun, not a chore I have to rush through. If a game does come out that I'm interested in playing, and I'm in the middle of playing another game, I'll have to choose between putting the current game on pause or finishing it before try the new one out. Even then, though, that choice will more likely favor the ones on the list, since it's not like the new game is going anywhere. I can always wait to play it, and if I'm lucky, I can get it on sale. Another thing is, that other than finishing the main story of the game, I have no strict completion criteria. If if I choose to keep playing a game in order to fight that game's super bosses, or finish up a few more quests, or even go for the platinum trophy, then I'll take the time to keep enjoying that game. Plus, I have other games that I might play just for a night of multiplayer here and there, like some Battlefield 6, maybe check out a new season, or even jump back into Mario Kart World, if that's what I'm feeling like. I'm really just making these games my main focus. Lastly, I want to keep you guys up to date on how my progress is going with the list. So, I might make some videos evaluating my thoughts on my journey so far. If you have any backlog lists of your own, and you're planning on tackling them this year, leave that in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, if you want to see any updates I may have, or if you're interested in seeing that possible retrospective on the Fatal Frame series, uh, please subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you again. Well, either way, Happy New Year's, guys. Have a good one.